Hey guys, and welcome to day 4 of our daily interview algorithm challenges, Algorithmas. So today we're going to be doing the binary gap algorithm. So this is actually a really popular one that is also featured on Codility. And there are quite a few ways to do this. Essentially, the algorithm is you've got to return the largest binary gap, which is essentially the largest number of consecutive zeros surrounded by ones on either side. So an example, if we have a look here, we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros here, and then 1 here, and then 1, 2, 3 here. So the answer to this would be 3. Now, the key part is you're probably, if you didn't pay attention to the front, is there's 4 zeros, but those are invalid because they're not surrounded by ones on the either side. You can see that there's no 1 there. It starts from 0, so you wouldn't count these. So there's 2 steps to this. One would be to make sure that you're not counting any zeros on either side. And then the next step would be to count each zero that's split up by these ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable that's going to store our example binary string. So we're going to say binary string str equals, and we're going to pass in this binary string as an example. Okay, so next what we need to do is this binary string, we need to first trim it of all the zeros and then try and convert it to an array that's separated, or a list that is separated by the ones, so that we get a collection of zeros of different sizes. So let's just do, say, var binary, and I think just because lists are easier to manipulate, we'll go with actually we don't need a list, we can do an array this time. So we go with var binary array equals binary string, and the first thing we want to do is split it. And what we're going to do is we're going to split it by, actually we don't need to split it yet, we're going to do a trim first. So we're going to trim the zeros off the end. So what this method does trim is any character that you pass in, it will trim those off from the start and the front. So we're going to trim the start and the front for anything that's a 0. And then after we've trimmed it, we're going to split it by 1. And we have to make it a character 1. So if we take a look at what we have here, we've got this original binary string with 4 zeros at the front. So the trim is just going to get rid of the zeros. There's no zeros at the end, so that's fine. And then we're going to split it by the ones. And then what we get is, with the split function, a lot of other programming languages have some way to split by a certain character. So just have a look at what you have, and you normally get back either an array or a list of some type. So this binary array right now is an array. So what we can do is we can iterate through it. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick for each loop. So for each var value, we'll do val in binary array. What we want to do is we're just going to log that to the console. So we're going to do console dot write line, and we're going to do each value that we get. We're just going to log it to the console. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give this a quick run. Okay, so you can see that we've logged to the screen 0 and then 3 zeros. And that makes sense, because if we go back and take a look, what we do have is, so in our binary string, we have the 4 zeros which get trimmed off at the end, and then the only other zeros are the 1 0 there and the 3 zeros there. So what we can do is, if we go back and we reiterate through this loop, but rather than logging, we're just gonna check the length of each of our values, which would be the string, the substring that has 1 0 and the substring that has 3 zeros. So what we're gonna do is just do a quick conditional here. So if value dot, and we need some kind of length or count. So we've got length here is greater than, and we just need a counter to keep track of what the max count is. So I'm gonna do var max count up here equals 0. So now we've got a way to track what the max count is, and if the length is greater than the max count, all we're going to be doing is very simply setting the max count equal to the length of that, and that should be fine. And after this for each loop is done iterating through, all we're going to do is just log to the screen and the max count. So let's give that a try. We're going to give that a quick run. Okay, and as you can see here in our console right here in the bottom middle, we can see that we output 3, and that matches our expected output because we had a 0 separated by 2 ones and then 3 zeros separated by the 2 ones, and that's exactly what we expect. So this is an alternative way to solving the binary gap algorithm. It's another really common one. You will get some sort of question that will ask you to split some kind of string into substrings and then work with those. So again, it's really helpful to just know how to split and then keep track of the number of each of your sub elements. So that was day 4, guys. We have another 26 more to go. These will get gradually more and more difficult. So this is one that is featured in Codility as well. So if you're practicing your algorithm, you can use websites like Codility, HackerRank as well to kind of give it a go. But apart from that, thanks again so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.